I want to start first by saying I'm Camille Kirk. I'm the Director of Sustainability and the Campus Sustainability Planner. And I want to welcome you to our first ever online Sustainability Summit. Thank you for sharing your time with us today. We plan to answer questions during the Q&A period from 11:30 to 12, but please go ahead and type your questions when you think of them. So with that, I'll start our remarks, our formal welcome remarks, and get us started on our content. These are really interesting times, and they're unprecedented for our living generations. In ordinary circumstances, we would have been meeting right now in the AGR room of the Buehler Alumni Center, and I would have started this welcome with a statement about the AGR room and the progress towards respect for diversity on our campus. I would have also read our Pet One Land acknowledgement. Instead, I will just say that wherever any of us are today, we are almost certainly on lands long stewarded and cherished by Indigenous communities throughout our country and world. We are all immigrants to this beautiful place, and we can all be thankful to be here and to have the privilege and opportunity to care for this land, our planet, and each other. We should also take a minute to observe that the effects of climate change will fall disproportionately and are already falling disproportionately on disadvantaged communities and on nations with less wealth and greater vulnerability. The Sustainability Summit is an annual opportunity to gather and share news and announcements about progress towards a more sustainable future at UC Davis. We'll hear some great news announcements and celebrate our Sustainability Champion Award winners. This year, at this time, we are all living the Zoom Brady Bunch life. We are all very familiar with this particular style of interacting now. And I want to say that none of this gets done without a phenomenal team. None of the work that you're going to hear about today gets done without a lot of people helping make this all happen. So I have with me a phenomenal and amazing Office of Sustainability team. You can see them all here. We have many students. The first two rows are students. And then the bottom row is starts off with Vendi Jayasinha, who's one of our Humphrey Fellows, who embedded with a professional affiliation with our office, and then our four staff at Office of Sustainability. Sustainability can be a tall order to work toward in an environment where there appear to be many competing demands on resources. It can seem hard. And next slide, Sue. Hard things only get done through respectful collaboration and partnership. We will hear a lot today about partnerships, including new partnerships being formed. We will also hear predominantly from students today. In fact, we'll lead out with a video of students describing what sustainability is to them and means to them, created by our Office of Sustainability student staff member, Shona Patterson. Shona is a fourth-year environmental science and management student. She is our zero waste coordinator in the Office of Sustainability and is also involved with SEEDS, the Nitrogen Footprint Project, and the Arboretum Learning by Leading Habitat Restoration Program.
Being able to use something for a very long period of time or being able to reuse it in the future
is how we engage with the world in a way that maintains it or improves upon it.
Not really spitting out more resources than you take in, especially in the long term, and especially where concerns about environmental protection, reliability, and overall being a better person are concerned.
People every day with their usages and making sure that they consume less.
It's a closed loop system. We don't have any waste going to landfills. It's something that the world needs, and it's not really a choice. So.
Living in a way that is not detrimental to our environment and our fellow human beings.
Being aware of what you're using and just being conscious of the materials that you're using and where it comes from and where it will go.
If the cycle returns and it's sustainable, yeah.
Saving resources, so it's like recycling, reusing.
Preserving material that we don't need to use.
And to achieve sustainability, we have to focus on long term. Don't compromise the use of the next generation.
Trying to make everything more efficient as we go, so we're not wasting stuff and maybe even saving stuff as we move forward.
Doing your own part in saving the planet as a whole.
It's amazing to work with so many students through our office, not only with our student staff that are in our office, but also with affiliates to our office. Our carbon neutrality fellows are a delight each year to mentor and work with. This year, we're going to hear some updates from Allie Larman. Allie is a second-year student majoring in community and regional development and minoring in Spanish. She is our UC Office of the President, Carbon Neutrality Initiative Student Engagement Fellow, and she is interested in building a community of sustainability leaders and finding creative ways to combine social sciences and art with environmental policy to inspire climate activism. So now we'll hear from Allie.
My name is Allie Larman, and I'm a Carbon Neutrality Initiative Student Engagement Fellow. I've had a really great time this year working with the Office of Sustainability and the Office of the President. I feel that we've been really resilient this year considering everything that has changed. And I'd like to tell you a little bit, let's see. Okay, I'll just use audio for now. I'd like to tell you a little bit about CNI and what me and the other fellows have been doing. So the Carbon Neutrality Initiative is the UC-wide goal to be carbon neutral in all operations by 2025. And we plan to do this by developing scalable solutions to building low carbon future, to build a low carbon future. And how we do this at UC Davis is we aim to be carbon neutral in business operations by 2025. And we plan to do this in scope 1 and scope 2 operations. So what that means is scope 1 is greenhouse gas emissions from source owned or controlled by UC Davis. So that's things like refrigerants and cogen plants. And scope 2 is greenhouse gas emissions from purchased utilities. Besides this, we also aim to reduce greenhouse gas emissions to 1990 by 2020, which is this year. And I think one of the most important parts about CNI is having the support of the student body and involving all students in finding creative and equitable solutions that work for everybody. So me and two other fellows, Samantha Waugh and Jessica Ison, have been working pretty hard all year to make this happen. So the first category of engagement we've done is in-person engagement. So this looked like farmers market tabling. We also partnered with student housing and dining services, like you can see on the right, to have conversations with first-year students and students in the dining common about how climate change is an equity issue and how climate change affects them on campus. Besides this, we also partnered with the Environmental Policy and Planning Commission and the Campus Center for the Environment on some other projects that we'll be able to discuss a little bit later today. Jess also held a lot of really great workshops this year. She held her first one, Introducing Environmental Justice, at the Southeast Asian Youth Conference. She also held the Decolonizing Zero Waste workshop for the general UC Davis student body. And yesterday, I was unfortunately not able to attend, but she held a virtual workshop called New Beginnings, COVID-19 and What It Means for Sustainability. And I think that is just the beginning of what the CNI Fellows have done this year to be resilient and really think on our feet on how we can continue these conversations and continue this engagement as we move to a virtual quarter. So in the middle of this picture, you'll see our tree planting event from last year. Samantha Wassam was really excited about hosting this again this year, and we've done a lot of great work to do that. Unfortunately, that wasn't able to happen this year. But we've all worked together to become really resilient and continue virtual engagement. So we transitioned to a virtual Earth Month as an office this year, and the CNI Fellows worked with the Environmental Policy and Planning Commission and the Green Initiative Fund to host a virtual Earth Week, which you can see on the right. We worked really hard with the groups to put this event on and create a lot of social media content to keep people engaged. And besides that, we've been managing the UC Davis Office of Sustainability social media all year. I'm very grateful that we started getting that work done on virtual engagement before we moved to a virtual quarter, because it's really helped us be quick thinking and move on our feet. And on the left, you'll see some other projects that Samantha Wall worked on. She's, besides being a CNI fellow, is also a very talented design student. So she worked on creating light switch plates to put on campus, among some other things. I've really enjoyed my time as a CNI fellow, and I'm really excited to keep working with CNI and with climate action and activism on campus. I'd love to have any conversations. If you all would like to contact me, my email is arlarman@ucdavis.edu. I don't think I'll be able to stick around for the question and answer period, but feel free to email me if you have any questions. Thank you all so much.
Thank you so much, Ali. That was fantastic. We'll next go to hearing from TGIF. This year concludes 4 years of the Office of Sustainability hosting the Green Initiative Fund. It's been wonderful to watch so many students grow and come into greater confidence as decision makers and collaborative team members through this program, not to mention the many students who've benefited from finding funding to make their ideas for sustainable actions come to fruition. It is my great pleasure to introduce 2 of our TGIF committee members now. Bella Bukeli is a graduating international relations major and a triple minor in professional writing, human rights, and sustainability in the built environment. She has interned for environmental NGOs that focus on land restoration and indigenous partnerships and has researched environmental justice conflicts in both Ecuador and California. After graduation, she plans to pursue work related to environmental law or corporate responsibility and hopes to live and volunteer for a short time in the Amazon rainforest. Rachel Glover is a graduating environmental science and management major and art history minor. She has worked in sustainable agriculture and community health and has researched invasive species and environmental policy. After graduation, she will be working with the John Muir Institute of the Environment, researching post-fire vegetative regeneration response while backpacking in California. That sounds awesome. All right, please join me in welcoming Bella and Rachel to present on TGIF.
Hi, my name is Bella Buccelli, and I'm the co-chair for TGIF this year and was also a committee member last academic year as well.
And I'm Rachel Glover, committee member and lead for the Marketing and Outreach Subcommittee.
So the Green Initiative Fund, or TGIF, is a campus-wide green fund that awards grants to sustainability projects. We award grants primarily to students, but we also award grant money to staff and faculty. The fund is supported by $3 of undergraduate students' tuition each quarter, which is why we require that all projects have undergrad student involvement and/or benefits. TGIF was established by referendum in winter quarter in 2016, and later in the fall of 2017, the first committee was established to carry out the first grant cycles. Next slide, please. So our full committee this year has 7 undergraduate student voting members, 1 graduate student voting member, 1 alternate voting member, 1 faculty representative voting member, 1 staff representative voting member, 4 ex officio non-voting members, so 1 undergrad from COSAF, 1 undergrad from ASUCD EPIC, TGIF's interim grant manager, and an Office of Sustainability representative, who's Camille Kirk in this case.
You can go to the next slide. Thank you. So for this academic year, we added ex officio student members from COSAF and ASUCD EPIC, as well as a faculty member to increase student and faculty collaboration on the committee. We have also been continuously making improvements to our processes and applications based on our experiences from past grant cycles. We also implemented a new subcommittee model to delegate and track work, which has been very successful. We have also used our time during the pandemic to innovate new ways of outreach, as well as to reorganize projects that have been affected.
Our grant process happens throughout the academic year, and we have 3 application cycles in the fall, winter, and spring quarters. As noted, we fund a diverse array of topics, and this year we received novel proposals that cover many different facets of sustainability. Next slide, please. Thanks. We funded numerous projects since the installation of the first committee in 2017. During this past academic year, we've given out over $276,000 to sustainability projects. In total, we've awarded over $600,000 to successful projects and have approved about 2/3 of total received projects. This has demonstrated how interested and passionate folks are about sustainability and innovation on campus. As you can see from the chart, grant approval is competitive yet attainable.
One of my absolute favorite projects was from the Davis chapter of the Period Project, which seeks to destigmatize menstruation and educate about menstrual health while also addressing the issues of poverty and personal sustainability. TGIF awarded funds primarily used to purchase reusable menstrual products to give to students in need, and also to host events discussing menstrual health and hygiene.
Another project we funded is the Davis Fridges, which are communal fridges located around campus where students can openly take or leave food for those in need. This project has addressed food waste and food insecurity while supplying fresh produce for students with healthy, affordable food. The Fridges serves to further educate the campus about these issues, so it's been valuable to witness this project come to fruition. Hyperloop is another funded project that has an engineering approach to sustainability and is essentially a novel mode of public transportation that helps lower commuters' reliance on fossil fuels. The project team qualified to attend a competition last summer for SpaceX, where they represented UC Davis among some of the top university teams around the world. These students applied their education to develop a fully functioning vehicle that employs the values of clean energy and green technology, and they will benefit from this experience in their post-grad lives.
Another favorite project was the Arboretum Floating Island. This was an excellent collaboration between students in engineering, landscape design, and environmental fields. Not only is it beautiful to look at, it also improves water quality, which is a big issue in the Arboretum, as well as wildlife habitat. Next slide, please. So looking forward, we are working on acclimating our newest committees so they can start in full swing in fall. We are also preparing for a very big year as we campaign to extend the sustainability initiative as we approach our referendum in spring 2021. Furthermore, we are continuing to learn from our current situation by preparing and pioneering new ways to engage students, whether online or in person. One example of this is our Earth Week social media challenge that we completed alongside ASUCD EPIC and CNI. Next slide, please. So that's all we have. For more information, we will be accepting questions at the end, and we have also linked our contact and social media information on this slide. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here today, and thank you for prioritizing sustainability efforts on our beautiful campus.
Thank you so much, Bella and Rachel. Really appreciate the update on TGIF, which is just a fantastic program. This year, Office of Sustainability has deepened our connections with the Associated Students of UC Davis, the Student Government, Campus Center for the Environment, and the ASUCD Environmental Policy and Planning Commission, known as EPIC. Right now, UC Davis is benefiting from some very strong student leadership in environmental sustainability, and these students are pioneering some important work for our future students. We'll hear now from the Director for the Campus Center for the Environment and the Chair of EPIC, who both have updates, and they're also going to break a major announcement at today's summit. So we'll start hearing from Yasmin Kershaw, who is a graduating senior majoring in environmental policy analysis and planning. She is also the unit director for the Campus Center for the Environment and one of the founders of the new Environmental Student Sustainability Coalition, or ESSC, and has been helping author its bylaws. Hunter Ottman is a fourth-year landscape architecture major and a GIS minor. He is the chairperson for the ASUCD Environmental Policy and Planning Commission and also one of the co-founders of the ESSC and has also been helping author its bylaws. When we get to the announcement stage, joining Hunter and Yasmin for the announcement will be Kyle Kruger, a second-year evolution, ecology, and biodiversity major, former chair of EPIC and current ASUCD president. He is also an author and co-founder of the ESSC. Maya Badri is a second-year environmental policy analysis and planning and economics double major. She is the vice chair for EPIC and heads the commission's internal team. And Carly Placencio is a fourth-year environmental policy analysis and planning major, an EPIC commissioner working on several projects, and another of the co-founders of the ESSC. With that, please, Yasmin and Hunter, take us through your updates and share your big news. Thank you.
I am Yasmin Korsha, the Unit Director for the Environment, and I'm going to speak a little bit about some of our projects this quarter. Project Compost is the forefront of CCE, and definitely what we are most known for. It's our on-the-grounds operation, and unfortunately this quarter, due to COVID-19 and the closure of our partnered facilities, we were unable to remain active. But we definitely have made plans to arrange for those budget losses next year, and definitely we'll be having a comeback in the future. We had a very successful year in general, and we are the forefront of student-led composting at UC Davis, and we have been for a long time. So we definitely plan that next year there will be some big changes, and we have made plans to also adopt the new policies that Office of Sustainability will be championing for our zero waste plan. So we definitely have a lot of plans in expanding our scope next year. Project Garden is the second aspect of our organization, and we manage a small set of plots at the Experimental Community Gardens, which is a fellow ASUCD unit, and we also give workshops on sustainable gardening practices. This quarter, our team submitted a TGIF grant, actually, for a fruit tree project that aims to address sustainability and food insecurity on campus, and plans to partner closely with community gardens to develop GIS mapping for all the plots. This unit has struggled a lot for many years in ASUCD, and we're planning on definitely being a helping hand in the next few years and helping the organization of this unit to be a little bit better, and to also implement this project that some of our Project Garden coordinators have had this year. Lastly, Project Challenge is the last element of our organization that I'll speak about. It is the educational and campaign element of our organization. We've worked on many campaigns this year at some of our workshops and tabling events regarding our environmental stewardship. And Project Challenge is where the idea of creating the Environmental Sustainability Student Coalition came out of. And that will be the next topic we'll be addressing after EPIC gives some of their introductions as well. So Hunter, go ahead and take it away.
And thank you, Camille, for those introductions. And I'll try to go through this fairly quickly just because we're a little behind schedule. So yeah, just as a quick rundown, what EPIC is an advisory body to the ASUCD Senate and the rest of ASUCD. So we are a group of 9 undergraduate students with up to 4 alternates. And we provide legislative guidance for resolutions, other forms of legislation that go through ASUCD, and then we are also responsible for pursuing other on-campus projects and representing student needs, the needs of the university, and the needs of the city of Davis in an environmental and sustainability context. Beyond that, we are also a group of passionate undergraduate students. We all have a very passionate and very driven motivation to really better our campus and better the student body's knowledge and involvement with environmental projects. So our primary responsibility within ACCD is to uphold the sustainability guidelines of UCD while also incorporating student involvement and the participation of the student body. Our presence is largely advising ACUC legislation development regarding environmental and sustainable practices while also upholding standards among ACUC units, commissions, and committees. Our larger intent is to expand the role of ACC or of sustainability and the environmental planning and advocacy across UCD. And with that, I'd like to switch over to Maya, the Vice Chair for EPIC.
Hi everyone, as Hunter mentioned, I'm the Vice Chair of EPIC, and I'm going to talk a bit about what we do beyond ASUCD. So on campus, we engage with UCD community and the surrounding community to better address the needs of campus organizations and students, staff, and faculty on campus. And we also strive to maintain and expand our network of administrators, local business owners, and other campus professionals. And we have several ongoing projects. The Student Sustainability Career Fair Committee is one that we recently started, and it's to host a career fair dedicated to companies that have sustainability as part of their mission. And we recently created a committee for that. So we're hoping in this upcoming school year, we'll be able to host our first career fair. We're also looking to create a comprehensive environmental survey to better understand student and graduate students' understanding of sustainability and environmentalism. And we've also hosted environmental involvement fairs this past year, and we're hoping to host more in the future so that students can better see the representation of environmental sustainability groups on campus. And the internal team, which is a team that I'm on, we're looking to rework the sustainability guidelines in the ASUCD bylaws and create a more thorough audit of ASUCD units. We're reworking our toilet talks, which were informational flyers about sustainability, into a virtual format. And we've also redone our website and revamped our social media. And fair trade campaigns is something that we worked on more last year, but just this year we did become a fair trade university. So we still have tabling events and outreach for that campaign. And now I think we're going to talk a bit about our big announcement.
Hi, everyone. My name's Kyle, and I'm the former chair of EPIC and the current ASUCD president. And I'm super honored to have the opportunity to introduce the Environmental Sustainability Student Coalition. I'm super proud of ASUCD's Campus Center for the Environment and Environmental Policy and Planning Commission for partnering on an incredibly ambitious project to create this kind of coalition of student environmental organizations. While I'm happy to be presenting this, the coalition, I want to emphasize, it's not part of ASUCD. It's going to be a conglomeration of student organizations from across UC Davis that we're building. And this coalition comes in the wake of a number of outstanding issues that we've identified with on-campus environmental organizations. There's overall a lack of communication among student environmental groups on campus. It's difficult to find that communication and find all these different groups. There's many environmental groups that we found over time are pursuing similar goals separately. We found a lack of collaboration on large-scale projects, which can reduce the potential for positive impact that we as students have when we work together. And there's an insufficient amount of volunteers frequently for projects and events, and recruitment of volunteers across organizations is an option that we want to create for all the different campus organizations. The next slide. And this project is going to provide a variety of benefits. Building community concern and involvement for issues, creating an administrative framework for project development and problem solving, allowing different stages of project development and problem solving to be linked together. We're going to mobilize diverse talents, resources, and strategies from maybe different environmental organizations that specialize in different aspects of environmental problem solving. And overall, just greater representation of student visions and goals regarding campus environmental sustainability, allowing students to kind of coordinate in their efforts and better represent their common interests. And our inspiration is that other UCs have very similar environmental coalitions based upon the university's needs and concerns. And other UCs have greater collaboration among environmental organizations, and we were inspired by some of our communications with these UC campuses to ourselves, try to centralize information and try to figure out how we can coordinate our groups toward common solutions to sustainability challenges. And I'll pass it on to Hunter.
So I'm pretty much just reading off the slide here, but the mission of the Environmental Sustainability Student Coalition is to address sustainability challenges and create tangible impacts by forming partnerships across UC Davis student environmental organizations and drawing upon student knowledge perspectives. So all of the pursuits, collaborations, and efforts of this coalition and this larger body of students really should be using this mission as a guiding principle and keeping it in mind so that we have consistency and stay unified. So the naming of the organization was actually a little trickier than we originally thought. Each word in this name actually has a significant amount of meaning and work that was put into it to make sure that we were meeting what we had intended and what the needs of the students would be. So the coalition will focus primarily on issues of sustainability, of environmentalism, which is a pillar of sustainability, but it should also be cognizant of the economic and social elements of sustainability as a whole. We also wanted to give primarily student organizations a platform that was previously non-existent on the UC Davis campus. So where other campus entities can still be involved, ones that are non-student run, but the students will run, lead, and make up the majority of the coalition's member base. Lastly, we also felt that the coalition would be the most appropriate organizational model so that students could come together for a common goal with equal representation.
Hi everyone, I'm Carly. I'm one of the commissioners on EPIC. So the three main goals of the coalition, the first would be just the development of a more sustainable UC Davis campus. We've identified some of the issues earlier that were preventing student groups from being as productive as possible. So the coalition hopefully will minimize those issues and allow these groups to reach their sustainability goals with the support that this large-scale collaboration will provide. The second goal would be to mitigate any negative environmental externalities. Hopefully with increased communication, there will be more awareness regarding all kinds of different projects and programs that are happening on campus. Once we're able to know about these programs, a coalition will be more equipped than any individual group may be to research and address any potential negative externalities that could be caused. And then the third goal being that increased advocacy for sustainability issues affecting students. The coalition aims to increase representation for student voices across campus, and we're going to be focusing on the issues that students care about the most and are most concerned with. So the coalition has obligations on 3 different levels, the first being to its member base. Right now, we have been the main groups working on this project, but there are a lot of people interested, so we plan to expand our membership to more than over 30 organizations that are currently interested in the coalition. To UC Davis students, we hope to make our coalition as inclusive to all students as possible and give everyone an opportunity to be involved with meaningful projects on campus. To the UC Davis campus, our main goal overall in creating this coalition is to make the school a more environmentally sustainable campus. So this is our main mission and what we are hoping to achieve in the creation of this coalition. And then I think back to Yasmin for the next.
Yeah, thanks so much, Carly and everyone. So one thing I do want to touch on that is not mentioned in this slide that's currently up is a little bit about how environmental sustainability is part of how membership will be determined. So that was definitely a part of why we named our organization the Environmental Sustainability Student Coalition, and how that will change the scope and focus of our organization. So I'm going to speak now a little bit about our partnership with the Office of Sustainability. They have been continuously guiding our efforts, and we are so thankful for their continued support for this entire quarter and the end of last quarter when we first initially started brainstorming these ideas. So if it wasn't for them, we definitely wouldn't be where we are now, and we're really grateful for their continued support. They've frequently been meeting with us, usually on a bi-weekly basis, and giving us feedback on our continued working documents. And they've definitely provided valuable insight as professionals who have been able to give us a lot of really great feedback. And they have offered to continue to support, guide, and mentor the coalition. So we definitely foresee having a strong collaboration with them in the future. They're planning on also designating a liaison to the coalition to help with communication, primarily with our coalition coordinator, and they will provide web publicity and hosted by a coalition webpage on the Office of Sustainability website. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about where we are now. Currently, we are finalizing the bylaws, which have definitely taken a long time to complete and perfect. In addition, our procedures manual, which got a lot of inspiration from the TGIF procedures manual in getting that formed. And lastly, the memorandum of understanding with the Office of Sustainability, which is largely completed. So we are preparing to formally invite organizations to the coalition and reach out to them directly. Some of the authors will be managing that communication and reaching out to them. And I'd like to give a thank you to all the authors that were involved in this, including Kyle Kruger, the president, Carly, one of our commissioners, Mari, also one of the EPIC commissioners, Forrest, another EPIC commissioner, and Hunter, the chair of EPIC. So thank you all for your time, and we look forward to remaining in contact with the sustainable community of UC Davis and giving you more updates about this coalition.
Thank you so much, Yasmin and Hunter and Kyle and Carly. and Maya. I would like to offer you all the chance to just put your video on really quickly and show your faces live time. I'm so sorry, we are newbies at webinars, and so we did not realize that we had a setting change that was not allowing you to share your video. So everyone,
Hi, everybody.
thank you so much. It's good to see your faces. Next, I'd like to introduce a different set of partners on campus. Office of Sustainability has been actively partnering with Global Affairs this past year on a variety of sustainability-related activities, from hosting a Humphrey Fellow as a professional affiliate in the Office of Sustainability, to working with Global Affairs on an international higher education sustainability statement, jointly running the World Climate Simulation twice in March and April, and we are now collaborating with Global Affairs on a voluntary university review of our performance under the UN Sustainable Development Goals. Today, Jolynn Shoemaker will share more of and deeper information on Global Affairs efforts as they relate to sustainability. Jolynn received her JD from Georgetown University, and she's a member of the Board of Directors for the International Action Network for Gender Equity and Law. She is currently the Director of Global Engagements at UC Davis and has been with Global Affairs since 2016. Jolynn, welcome.
Thank you so much, Camille, and the whole team for including me. I'm going to share my screen if this will work. In the meantime, just wanted to say how inspired I am and just how awesome all of the presentations that I've been listening to are. Just really happy to be so grateful to be part of this amazing community at UC Davis doing all these cutting edge things for our planet. So let's see if I can make this work. Okay, so I'm just going to very briefly, I know we are a little bit behind and I will try to stay under time. I'm just going to briefly tell you a little bit about our engagement with the UN Sustainable Development Goals. So this picture right here, for those of you who may not be aware, this is the sort of these are the icons of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals covering a broad spectrum of areas. So why are the SDGs so important to us here at UC Davis? Well, they are a set of ambitious goals developed by all the UN member states and agreed to them in 2015. These 17 goals are very broad in scope. They recognize importantly that economic, social, and environmental challenges are intertwined and indivisible. And importantly, all of the member states of the UN committed to the principle of leave no one behind. All of these reasons and the 17 goals themselves mean that these goals speak very deeply to UC Davis values and strengths as a campus. So why are they so relevant? UC Davis is already working on teaching, research, and service that directly contributes to all of the SDGs. We also are using the framework to bridge disciplines and sectors and countries to address common, what are sometimes called wicked problems because of their complexity. And the SDGs are not just an over there agenda. They are very relevant in our region of Northern California, in the United States as well. The SDGs are both global and local. And the COVID-19 situation has exacerbated and will continue to exacerbate many of these very complex challenges, both locally and globally, including and not limited to poverty, health disparities, social inequities, meeting basic needs. So the SDGs have become more important than ever in the last months and will be in the next years. So what is UC Davis doing to support the SDG agenda? I'll just give you a few examples. First, we are mapping campus SDG efforts. As Camille mentioned, we're working very closely with the Office of Sustainability on this front. Affairs surveyed our faculty last year to get a sense of how they were self-identifying their work on SDGs, and you can see the icons here that sort of rose to the top as the most faculty who responded that they were working on these issues. Of course, all the SDGs relate closely to sustainability. And then we're also looking at our centers and institutes. We're partnering with centers and institutes so that we can really profile the work that they're doing that is contributing to this. And as I mentioned, and as Camille mentioned, we're working closely on a voluntary review process for the campus as well with the Sustainability Office. We are also actively participating in global networks. I've listed some of them as examples here. Camille and our team worked very closely with one specific network this year called Universitas 21, U21 for short, which UC Davis is very involved with. And that network wanted to really rewrite their sustainability statement. And we came together, our two offices, to provide a really holistic viewpoint on sustainability and integrate the SDGs into that statement for that network. We're also using SDGs as an important framework for partnership building, and this partnership building is occurring both on campus and with external partners around the world. So just one example of this is that we now have small grants for advancing the SDGs for our faculty, and those grants involve both campus and international collaborators, and I've just listed a few examples of the first set of grant recipients here, including around the world, and on natural resources, water management, and many other issues that that pertain to sustainability. And we are supporting SDG leadership as well. We, as Camille mentioned at the beginning of the program, we host the Humphrey Fellowship Program, which is a professional development program for mid-career fellows from around the world, and they focus on many issues that pertain to environment and sustainability. We're also hosting an SDG internship, which gives undergraduate students an opportunity to directly contribute to our efforts at UC Davis. And our global engagement opportunity, Living and Learning Community, is also introducing first-year students to the SDGs as well. And so moving forward, just wanted to mention a couple of thoughts. One, the importance of recognizing that the SDG agenda, the SDGs are interconnected. They have to be solved across discipline sectors. We have to cross silos in order to address them effectively. So we need collaboration on many levels. And that includes here on this campus. And so we are working, as I mentioned, with the Office of Sustainability very closely. And this really enables us to bring together our diverse experience and expertise between global affairs and sustainability, and our linkages and networks to really work together for stronger contributions towards a healthy and peaceful planet, both here on campus, locally, and globally. So thank you so much, and feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions or ideas. We certainly welcome them. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Jolene. Really appreciate that. That was a fantastic update, and like a quick mini education in the Sustainable Development Goals. So thank you. Our next presenter, so the Office of Sustainability collaborates regularly with the John Muir Institute of the Environment, and we really value this relationship very much. It is my privilege to introduce Ben Holton, Director of the John Muir Institute of the Environment, Professor of Global Environmental Studies in the Department of Land, Air, and Water Resources, spearhead of the One Climate Initiative at UC Davis, and representative on the UC Global Climate Leadership Council. Thank you, Ben, and please share with us some updates from JMIE and One Climate.
Wow, pleasure. First of all, thank you. What a terrific opportunity to talk about how UC Davis continues to be a world leader in some of the biggest challenges that are facing people on the planet. And I want to really congratulate Camille and her team for our #1 global rankings, which continue to show up in sustainability. And it's my great pleasure to be in a position to try to help lead these opportunities on campus, which really means I try to get out of the way as much as possible, because we have so much good stuff going on this campus. It's really just about trying to provide a little bit of a bigger vision so that everyone knows how they can connect into the sustainability opportunities that I see in front of us. So I'm going to give a couple of points of reflection. Keep it kind of candid. I'm staying away from PowerPoint for right now. And then I'll talk a little bit about some of the accomplishments that I see, as well as some of the opportunities in front of us and the challenges that we still have. So first of all, Earth Day, 50 years in, what an impressive thing. If I look at Earth Day, I can really think about it as a tale of two curves. One curve that has bent significantly and showcases the substantial ways in which people can collaborate, communicate, cooperate to solve major global challenges. That would be CFCs in the atmosphere, which were destroying the ozone, leading to ozone holes that harmed people and imparted risks on society. That hole was effectively closed through collective measures in the Montreal Protocol, using sound science and then taking that to action. Working with corporations, working with industry, working with governments. It's a curve that has bent and now shows that we can work together at a global scale to solve an atmospheric pollutant. The other curve is the curve which will not bend. I think we're all quite aware of this curve. It's the curve of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. It continues to impose huge risks and unintended consequences on industry, business, society, governments, infrastructure, and all the things we really care about. Elevated carbon dioxide concentrations in the atmosphere are now causing massive amounts of climate change, which are giving rise to food insecurity and harming the most vulnerable people in society. It is a curve that will not bend. The reason it won't bend is because we're not capable yet of breaking through to find that cooperative, collaborative action. But despite that tremendous challenge, I do want to talk about what we're doing on this campus and how we are trying to recreate how academia can interact with the broader world to solve the kind of challenge that's in front of us, dealing with an unstable and unsustainable climate. So we have a couple of things. First, we have the Carbon Neutrality Initiative. Some of you are familiar with this initiative, and Camille Kirk is doing a tremendous job showcasing how UC Davis is substantially reducing our carbon footprint using the largest solar array of any campus, coupled with modern changes that bring about co-benefits for buildings, for air conditioning, for clean energy. And right now, we're looking at the University of California system approaching our climate neutrality goal. We're over halfway there. And by 2025, we are on a path to use offsets to make sure that we hit that tremendous benchmark. So this is an exciting thing that continues to happen in the University of California. We also, in the John Muir Institute, which is the largest research unit on campus, connecting over 153 staff members with countless faculty across all the colleges and professional schools, are leading the One Climate Initiative. This is an exciting opportunity to break through the barriers that hold us back from innovation, draw new interdisciplinary understanding to the challenge of climate, and show how we can train this next generation of thought leaders and change makers to go out there and create climate smart businesses, unleash green technologies, and most importantly, create a more just and socially equitable world that doesn't bear the impacts of climate on those that are most vulnerable. We really have to keep focused on that problem. So those are some of the exciting things that I continue to see. But I do want to end with a sort of a clarion call to the next 50 years. I do see the next 50 years as being radically challenging and also amazing in terms of some of the accomplishments that we're going to be seeing. I imagine in the next 10 to 15 years, we are going to continue to see massive reductions in our use of dirty fuels, which pollute the planet. We're already starting to see that coal, which produces a huge amount of carbon dioxide and is caustic to communities, is no longer being deployed. In fact, renewables have now surpassed coal in many areas on the planet. That's going to continue to happen. I also think we're going to see new opportunities to work with farmers and ranchers and restore the health of soil in ways that will rejuvenate food security, food production, and take carbon dioxide out of the air. These are going to be exciting breakthroughs that we're all going to be a part of, that you guys, our younger leaders, are going to be at the forefront of, and I'm so excited about what you can do in that area. But I'm also going to end with where I see the biggest challenge still. You cannot have sustainability without equity. You cannot have sustainability without diversity and inclusion. And I'm hopeful that we continue to focus on that tremendous challenge. I think at UC Davis, we're doing a good job, but we can do better. And I'm so excited about thinking of a future where the full diversity of our planet is at the table, thinking about how we can create the next Montreal Protocol to solve these challenges and produce wins for people on the planet so we have a truly sustainable world. So that's my pitch today. Thank you so much for giving me this chance to speak to you briefly. And this is an exciting summit. Keep up the great work.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your inspirational words, Ben. I first met our next presenter, Colleen McCormick, when she started work at a different UC Merced. I admired her work very much there as sustainability director at our sister UC campus, and I was really thrilled when she moved to UC Davis Health. Colleen is a key partner with Office of Sustainability. Colleen McCormick became the Director of Sustainability at UC Davis Health in February 2019. She leads, coordinates, and develops all of the UC Davis Health sustainability-related initiatives. Prior to joining UC Davis Health, Colleen served as the first Director of Sustainability at 2 higher education institutions, UC Merced, as mentioned, and Indiana University, Purdue University, Indianapolis, IUPUI. With that, Colleen, please take it away.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much, Camille and team and all, for providing me this opportunity to speak with you today to share some UC Davis Health sustainability highlights. It's really fantastic to hear of all of the great work that's going on, and I'm grateful and honored to be part of such an esteemed group. I'm excited to share that UC Davis Health was recently honored by Practice Green Health for its progress on environmental performance and sustainability. Practice Green Health is a national nonprofit organization that supports advancing sustainability in healthcare. Recently announced their 2020 Environmental Excellence Awards Environmental Excellence Awards that recognize environmental performance in the healthcare sector. The PGH Awards program recognizes healthcare facilities and health systems for their commitment to environmental stewardship and their sustainability achievements. The specific accolades that UC Davis Health received this year include the Emerald Award for our commitment to improving the environmental performance and efforts in achieving a top standard of excellence in sustainability. We received the Greening the OR Recognition Award that recognizes hospitals that significantly improved environmental performance in the operating room. And we also received the Circles of Excellence honor, which is given to 10 of the highest performing hospitals nationwide in each area of sustainability expertise. In this category, UC Davis Health was awarded the Circle of Excellence in Green Building and the Circle of Excellence in Food. As a top 10 Food Circle awardee, UC Davis Health has demonstrated noteworthy programming in meat reduction, procurement of better meat, improving access to tap water and healthy beverages, supporting healthy food access and preventing food waste, and sourcing sustainable and local food. And in particular, we acknowledge that we achieved a 37.8% in purchasing of sustainable food in 2019. So a lot of great progress by our food and nutrition services team. They're really amazing. Receiving these Practice Green Health recognitions would not be possible without tremendous teamwork, and I am grateful for my UC Davis Health colleagues who have contributed to these efforts and demonstrated a strong commitment to advancing sustainability. Briefly, a few additional highlights to share with you all from the past year include the creation of a UC Davis Health-wide goal to reduce our red bag waste by 2%. As of April 2020, we've achieved a reduction of 11.32% for the current fiscal year compared to fiscal year 19. And while this reduction has been impacted by COVID-19, we were on track to exceed the goal prior to the pandemic's impact on our hospital operations. We also began implementing a relaunch of our recycling program, and it was piloted in 2 areas of the main hospital, 2 areas within the cancer center, and the new North Addition building. This effort included working with our waste hauler to identify items that are currently acceptable for recycling developing new signage and marketing materials, partnering with our environmental services staff to develop a process for transferring recycling materials from those pilot areas to a centralized collection point, and also providing extensive education and outreach to staff within the pilot areas. We are planning to implement a campus-wide rollout of the program later this year. I was also excited to see that our vacant energy manager position was filled back in November of 2019 by Dan Mendonza, who is leading the way on a lot of energy efficiency projects and managing a myriad of data points related to energy and water. So excited to have him on board. Last October, we participated in California Clean Air Day, which is a statewide effort to encourage individuals and organizations to commit to clear the air through large and small actions. We pledged to participate in this effort as an organization by encouraging employees to make an individual pledge to clear the air that day. And we also hosted a resource fair for the community to learn about green commuting and transit options, and provided over 120 attendees an opportunity to test drive electric vehicles. And I was also excited in that we had a really enthusiastic group of folks that were diligently planning to celebrate Earth Week this year. And that included developing an Earth Day fair and also 2 tree planting events, which unfortunately, as you're aware, we had to postpone, but we're hopeful to hold them at some point in the future. So it's been a pleasure to share these highlights with you today, and I thank you again for your time.
Hi, Colleen. Just really quickly, we had a quick question that I think we can answer live time, which is if you could just define what red bag waste is. We had 2 people wanting to know.
Oh, sure. Sorry about that. Yes. So red bag waste is a type of medical waste that it goes to a facility where it is essentially autoclaved. So it's rendered non-hazardous then, and then it is placed into a landfill. So it's a higher cost waste to process. It's more energy intensive and more greenhouse gas intensive. So it was an area of focus for us because we saw a lot of opportunity to reduce that particular waste stream.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So we're going to stick on the Sacramento side of the causeway for a few more minutes. And recently, I learned about the creation of a new student-led group to support sustainability actions at UC Davis Health called STETH, which stands for Sustainability Through Environmentally Thoughtful Healthcare. We will hear more about this group, and we'll get a student perspective on the intersections between sustainability and health from Leila Farshidpour. Leila is a second-year medical student at UC Davis who is passionate about the intersection between environmental health and human health. She is currently working on a pilot program to encourage undergraduate involvement with sustainability efforts on the UC Davis Health campus. Leila, take it away.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I would like to start off by thanking Camille and the Office of Sustainability for having me today. I'm really grateful to be here and excited to have the chance to speak with you all regarding sustainability through environmental healthcare, or STETH, which, as Camille was mentioning, is a brand new student organization on the UC Davis School of Medicine campus. So I would just like to start off by telling you all a bit about our history. So STETH was formed by Dr. Benjamin Liu and a group of medical students at UC Davis who have an interest in both environmental and human health and wanted to form an organization with sustainability, education, and community at its core. Many of us, upon starting medical school, were kind of shocked to see the infrequency that sustainability, climate, and environmental issues were presented to us in our curriculum. And because of our backgrounds in environmental science and sustainability, wanted to make sure that this type of learning was included in our curriculum because it is such a large part of healthcare today. Medical students and residents and physicians and other members of the healthcare team within the US, I think, have a very unique opportunity to make a difference, because if the US healthcare system was its own country, we would rank 13th in the world. And every day we are responsible for a significant fraction of the air pollution and other public health burdens that we as healthcare providers aim to treat. So as a student group on the UC Davis campus, we wanted to start by tackling this both from an educational perspective, but also from an institutional perspective, and although COVID-19 has posed a bit of a challenge for us in terms of implementing some of our ideas, I wanted to take a few minutes to tell you a bit about some of the work that we have been able to do in the hopes that there are students in the audience or other members of the UC Davis campus who are interested in joining us or partnering with us. So one of the things that we've been working on is kind of taking our medical education into our own hands and working with Dean Olson, who's the Associate Dean for Curriculum and Medical Education, as well as Dr. Margolis, Dr. Pevic, and Dr. Liu, to make changes in our curriculum, which will focus more on the impacts of environmental health. How we are hoping to do this is to integrate various case studies into our regular curriculum, such as the cardio block, the pulmonary block, to highlight some of the adverse effects of poor environmental health on human health. We are also working with Dr. Margolis as she's developing a 10-day elective course for medical students who are interested in this work and making it available to medical students who are in their second, third, and fourth years of medical school. We've also been very fortunate to have the support and encouragement of Colleen McCormick, who you all heard from a bit earlier and who's the Director of Sustainability at UC Davis Health. With her support, we've been working on capacity building because one of the barriers that we've identified in doing sustainability work, especially on a medical campus, is simply lack of time. But we've all heard the old adage, many hands make light work, and so Steph has been working on recruiting more medical students from all years, residents, as well as faculty to work with us on projects. We've been speaking to several pharmacists at UC Davis to work on reducing pharmaceutical waste on our campus, and are hoping to also collaborate with the undergraduate campus to develop a summer internship for students interested in the intersection of environmental and human health. Some of the other work that we've been doing is we've been building connections with our fellow colleagues at the UC Davis School of Veterinary Medicine and are hoping to plan events where we get to collaborate on community work such as river cleanups and hold socials where we can come together to discuss ways where we can reduce our carbon footprint and overall impact in the healthcare sector. We've also been putting together various Zoom sessions for students who are interested and holding discussions on sustainability and what we can do during this time of the shelter in place order and while we're all at home to live a more environmentally conscious and sustainable lifestyle. So with that, I wanted to invite all of you to reach out to us if you have project ideas or if you are interested in working with us on any projects. I will share our Instagram handle as well as my email in the group chat for all of you who are interested. And I would just like to thank you all for your time, and I look forward to working with many of you as we become a more established organization. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Layla. That was really fantastic to get an update from a student perspective at UC Davis Health. That's definitely a first for us. We'll now move on and hear from our next, a bridge back from the Sacramento side, back over the causeway to the Davis side. In the Office of Sustainability, it's our privilege to work under a visionary leader, Bob Seeger. Bob has worked at UC Davis for over 25 years, first as campus planner and now as Associate Vice Chancellor of Campus Planning and Environmental Stewardship. Bob created the original master plan for West Village on the Davis campus, the largest planned zero net energy community in the country, and is now serving as planning director for Aggie Square, a collaborative technology and innovation center located on the UC Davis Health campus in Sacramento. And he carries out these duties in addition to his leadership of campus planning and environmental stewardship. I invite you all to help me welcome Bob in his remarks.
Thank you, Camille. Hello, everybody. It's great to see the turnout for today's Virtual Sustainability Summit. And thanks to Camille and her team for putting together this great event. It's really inspiring to hear what everybody's doing. So in my few minutes, I'd like to share one overriding thought with a couple of examples. And it's this, and it's really what a lot of you have been talking about. The current public health crisis has reinforced something that we already knew in the world of sustainability, but it's abundantly clear now, and that's that we can build a more sustainable future when we co-create that future together. And that may be simple to say, but it's hard to achieve. As Ben Holton said a few minutes ago, in referencing the first Earth Day and the global collaboration around CFCs, it took science, but it also took the art of collaboration, and it took a focus on equity, and that's what's demanded of us now. And so that's what I mean when I say co-create the future together. Think of how differently you feel about something when you put your heart and soul into it, when you invested your time and effort to work towards change. When you do that, you move from a passive viewer to an active co-creator and a co-owner of the outcome. And the more owners we have, the more people care, the more resilient our future will be. The more heads and hearts and hands will be dedicated to finding new ways for this campus to be sustainable and to thrive. That's why I'm so heartened to see the breadth and depth of interest at today's summit, in particular, the renewed student energy on both campuses around being active co-creators. And that's why a big function of the Office of Sustainability that Camille and her team do so well is to help you find those pathways to co-creating the future with us. Let me give you a couple of examples of what I mean by partnership and co-creation, one at the Sacramento campus and one at the Davis campus. At the Sacramento campus, and you heard Colleen characterize the breadth and depth of the Sacramento campus a little earlier, I'm leading a planning effort that Camille referenced for Chancellor May called Aggie Square. Aggie Square will be a new kind of campus. It's being designed as an innovation district where faculty and students from across the university can partner to take advantage of the resources and challenges in a big, diverse city like Sacramento. And in addition to the academic collaboration, Aggie Square will also offer opportunities for partners from business and industry, from other sectors of education, from community-based organizations to co-locate on the campus with us, bringing their expertise, their perspectives, their resources from beyond the university to bear on the challenges of the future. So in the process, back to collaboration, we're expanding that list of stakeholders and co-owners to help us create the University of the Future. I firmly believe that the University of the Future, we're all learning, even more so now that we can connect with people virtually, but I think the University of the Future has to have people from all those sectors that I just mentioned, from business, from industry, from community, from other education sectors present on the campus. So you as students and faculty have all the people, not just available virtually at a distance, but in person to bear on your success and to contribute to your success. So Aggie Square is going to be that kind of campus. We've even come in the process to kind of reframing how we think about the Sacramento campus and the Davis campus. Kind of historically, we've referred to the Sacramento campus as the medical center and the Davis campus as the main campus. So think of it a little differently. Think of the Davis campus as the college town campus, and think of Sacramento as the urban campus. And see what happens as soon as you do that. You start to think of the different opportunities, particularly for community engaged work, for outward facing work, which sustainability is, because you can't do it within borders. That the opportunities that come in front of you in the urban setting in a big diverse city like Sacramento compared to the small college town of Davis. So to think of it that way in a much broader brings all these potential opportunities on board for us and the communities that we live in. So the Aggie Square project will focus on human health because that's the core of what happens on that campus right now, but it will also expand the notion of health to include social equity and economic diversity and environmental health. Echoing Camille's good reminders that sustainability does not start and stop with the external environment. As Layla just said, environmental health and human health are inextricably linked, so that personal and social and economic health are critical dimensions of sustainability. With Aggie Square, we're partnering with the Mayor of Sacramento and community leaders to strive for inclusive economic development that leverages the work of the university to try to find ways that people in local neighborhoods still suffering the effects of deep disinvestment over decades and economic abandonment can be included in the creation of wealth and health that Aggie Square hopes to deliver in Sacramento. A second quick example is on the Davis campus. I want to mention the Arboretum and Public Gardens Learning by Leading program, if you haven't heard about that already, whereby over 130 students are now actively engaged in environmental leadership programs to help us transform the UC Davis campus landscape into climate-appropriate gardens adapted for our changing climate. These students all have staff mentors and faculty mentors. They're true co-creators of the campus of the future. They're gaining important team building and leadership opportunities at the same time. They're solving real-world problems and creating a lifetime connection to UC Davis. They're shaping the place, and they're becoming co-owners. If you've noticed more and more of the campus looking like the Arboretum, much of that work is the work of these students. And there's one more thing about the garden that implicitly teaches sustainability. You can't walk away from the garden and have it thrive. Gardens need tending or they fail, which is the very essence of what we mean by sustainability. A sustainable future is not a series of technical solutions, it's tending the garden. So we want you to be co-creators and co-owners for the sustainable UC Davis campus of the future. Please keep reaching out to the Office of Sustainability, and we will keep reaching out to you. Go Ags. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much, Bob. That's great, and I love the Go Ags end. All right, so here we are. We've got a few announcements from our own office that we're going to share. Sue's going to pull up some slides, and while she's pulling up our few slides, I'm going to let you know that at the Office of Sustainability, we have 3 guiding roles and responsibilities. We demonstrate leadership by providing vision, direction, and support for sustainability. We work to foster connections and build relationships across campus and externally. And we create a culture of sustainability through performance assessment, outreach, and engagement. So we're going to lead out with some of the latest news and some big exciting news, which Kelly O'Day will share. But I'm going to give a little brief tidbit of a hint with some fun photos of us. STARS is a monster performance assessment, sustainability assessment, and a major team effort. And Kelly O'Day joined us as our new assessment program manager, who we gleefully and gratefully poached from the coffee house. And she came aboard in January just as things went into serious overdrive in our office in pulling together our STARS report. And I've done 3 of these reports over the 15 years that I've been at UC Davis. 2 of them we've had rated. And I would observe that UC Davis excels in pulling together fast, but deep and thorough performance assessment. And I think it's because we view this as a collaborative team effort, and we have deep institutional connections across all of UC Davis. I would also point out we have a lot of fun. For example, although we were laboring away, we managed to taste test every single flavor of Girl Scout cookies at one of our weekly STARS team meetings. And we kept a physical board of progress so that we could bodily feel our march through the huge effort to get this work done. And you see the yellow, the kind of light greeny yellow sticky notes that we were moving across need to get data all the way to we are done. And then at the very end, you see our full STARS team there with our completed column of progress. We will be holding a STARS Town Hall this summer after fiscal close to share more with our staff and faculty partners who were so important to our reporting effort. But right now we're going to hear some of the overview, some of the high, broad report outcomes from Kelly O'Day, and she'll give us a tiny taste of what we'll cover in greater detail in a later town hall. After Kelly, we'll hear from Sue Vang, our Engagement and Zero Waste Program Manager, and she'll have some key updates on zero waste actions at campus and green workplace. I'll share a quick bit about the big shift that was mentioned earlier, and then the Office of Sustainability website revamp, so that you have a full picture of the things that are coming out of Office of Sustainability over the summer. So with that, Kelly, would you like to take it away? And next slide, Sue.
Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to be here virtually with you today. Before I get into this year's STARS report, I just wanted to take a minute to provide a little background on STARS. So STARS is a program of ASHE, the Association of the Advancement of Sustainability in Higher Education. And it's a comprehensive sustainability rating system for colleges and universities that addresses the environmental, social, and economic dimensions of sustainability. The report covers 4 main categories: academics, operations, engagement, and planning and administration. There's also a bonus category called innovation and leadership. This category recognizes institutions seeking innovative solutions to sustainability challenges and demonstrating sustainability leadership in ways that are not otherwise captured in STARS. Institutions can earn a bronze, silver, gold, or platinum rating. So for this year's STARS report, we are thrilled to announce that we received a gold rating. We also achieved 15 innovation and leadership credits, which cover a variety of areas such as diversity, sustainable fleet, ground certifications like Tree Campus USA, Campus Pride Index, and many more. Internationally, 419 colleges and universities have a current rating in STARS, and the overall STARS report score for UC Davis was in the 90th percentile. As Camille said, this report took a lot of teamwork from both our STARS team, but also the campus community who contributed information. So we definitely couldn't have done the report without everyone involved, and we're very thankful for everyone's hard work. Next slide, please. As Jolynn mentioned, the Office of Sustainability and Global Affairs Office are working together to perform an assessment for the campus based on the UN Sustainable Development Goals. As part of the assessment, we mapped out all of the SDG targets that were addressed in the 2020 STARS report. And during this mapping process, we discovered the campus's achievements documented in the STARS report covered all 17 SDGs and achieved 112 out of 169 SDG targets. So if you're interested in more information about STARS, you can view the full report online at ashe.org. And if you have any questions about the STARS report, we're happy to answer them. You can just email the Office of Sustainability, and I'll include all the links in the chat. Back to you, Camille.
Thank you. Sue, I think our next slide might be, next couple of slides might be yours. You want to advance and take it away? Thank you.
Hi everyone, as the Zero Waste Program Manager on campus, the most common question I get is about compost and when we can expand our compost infrastructure. And I always say it's a slow process, but it is a steady progress that we're making. Some updates for you all on that is that we are very close to wrapping up a feasibility study that's looking at a potential compost facility on our campus. Currently, some of you know, we're taking our most of our compost to Yolo County landfill, where it is then transported to a commercial composting facility. The other really great news is that we recently put in a purchase order for a new compost truck that would make it really efficient and help us in terms of expanding our compost pickup of all the yellow compost toters that you might have seen around the campus in the loading docks. And this would be a truck that would make it easy to service these compost trucks, similar to what you might have seen with the recycling toters, the blue and the green toters around campus as well. And we are working on expanding our compost collection bins around campus, both indoors and outdoors. The indoor project, we're working with Custodial to figure out how to make that happen more campus-wide. Of course, there are costs associated with that, but we are examining the costs and the requirements needed to figure out how we can move forward with that. And then the picture below is a set of new landfill and recycle bins that are actually currently being installed on campus and replacing older and broken recycle and landfill bins. So once campus reopens, you should expect to see about 62 sets of these around campus, along with 8 matching compost bins near food service areas. So those are some of the more highlighted zero waste updates. Related to that, we have currently 4 of those large compost bins on campus. Some of you might have seen them at the Memorial Union. One's at the silo and one is just outside the Mondavi Center. And so the Office of Sustainability held a poster contest last winter quarter, trying to recruit talent to put something on the inserts that these existing compost bins have to draw attention to them, to encourage people to think about composting and know that they're a composting bin. And so these are the 4 that were selected in the various categories. There was best overall, most impactful, most creative, and then we also gave an honorable mention. So wanted to thank everyone who participated in this, and look for these on the 4 existing compost locations as well when you return to campus.
Okay, so carbon neutrality. You heard earlier from our CNI fellow, Allie Larman, about the Carbon Neutrality Initiative, and we have an exciting progress update. We have the Big Shift now underway, and the Big Shift is the nickname, if you will, of a project that is a multi-year long process to convert our energy-intensive steam-based district heating system to a low-temperature heating hot water system. So what does that mean? Currently, we heat the majority of our building square footage with with steam that's created at a central plant in these huge boilers, and then it's sent through pipes that run underground all over campus. And we have a lot of loss. As you can see, we have about 30 to 50% is what we're estimating of steam heat is lost. So when we convert over to new pipe, which does mean we have to dig up the campus, which is why it is the big shift, and it will be disruptive, but it will be so worth it because this will be direct action to reduce our greenhouse gas emissions and also reduce our natural gas use, which means that we will be saving money on energy. We'll also save some money on the very expensive maintenance of steam, and we'll also avoid water losses because, of course, steam is water. So when we reduce the use or the loss of steam, we reduce the loss of water. Long term, we think we'll reduce our greenhouse gas emissions by about 40% on the Davis campus when we get this project all the way done. And you can learn more about it. Sue, do you want to arrow down again and see if the next thing will pop up? You can learn more about it at bigshift.ucdavis.edu. There we go. All right, thanks. And Sue, it's back to you for the next slide.
Great. So one of the programs that some of you all might have been familiar with is our Green Workplace Certification Program, where you take an assessment and take green actions and certify your green office or lab. We suspended that for a bit to revamp it a little, and then piloted it with a few labs and offices at UC Davis, and we're happy to announce that we're officially relaunching it now. So as of today, if you haven't done this yet and are interested in certifying or recertifying, please reach out to us. We do have 2 certifications so far this year through the pilot phase. I'm happy to announce the first lab that was certified under Green Workplace was the Slutsky Lab in Food Science and Technology, which certified at Silver. And the champion there who reached out to us and worked with us was Daria, who some of you might recall was a sustainability champion at last year's summit. And then the Tahoe Environmental Research Center is actually located out, not on campus. And so that was a really great experience to work with them. And they were our first gold certification this year. So really excited to make these announcements and just wanted to share that great news with everyone. And then our email is there if you're interested, if you have questions or if you're interested in working with us.
All right. Okay, so final little piece of news from us before we get to the exciting news about our Sustainability Champion Awards. So from us, many of you probably know and experience painfully, as do we, our very aged website, which was innovative and groundbreaking in its day, but is really long in the tooth now. So we've been working closely with some independent partners. We're working with Colleen McCormick and folks at UC Davis Health to have a really unusual and very exciting combined sustainability website. And we're working with FOA, Finance Operations and Administration Communications Unit, to update our website. We're getting close. We're not quite ready for launch. We'll be ready for launch this summer. It'll come out by the end of the fiscal year. But here's a teaser. It's going to look so fresh and exciting, and I cannot even tell you how thrilled we are in the Office of Sustainability to be closing in on a fresh, new, better communication tool to support all this work that's being done that you've been hearing about all day today. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to the really exciting part where we get to learn who our sustainability champions are. Sue?
Thanks, Camille. So the Sustainability Champion Awards were created last year with our inaugural summit to recognize students, staff, and faculty for their sustainability efforts and achievements. nominations reviewed against the 3 goals listed here. And this year we received many more nominations than we did last year. So it was a very difficult task for the review panel to narrow down the awards to the following people. The complete bios for these champions will be included on our new website that Camille just announced when it launches this summer. And I just wanted to thank everyone who sent in submissions, and also wanted to thank the review panel members who volunteered their time and feedback. So we'll start with our student champions presented by Kelly.
All right. So our student sustainability champion from the Sacramento campus is Ben Liu. Ben is a soon-to-be graduating 4th-year psychiatry resident leaving home for a 1-year fellowship in consultation liaison psychiatry in Portland. And we also just want to say some quotes from the nomination. So Dr. Liu has worked tirelessly to advocate for environmental sustainability at UC Davis. He has led the Sustainability Through Environmentally Thoughtful Healthcare STEF student interest group to implement long-standing, meaningful, sustainable change at UC Davis Health. And I believe Ben is here and would like to speak for a couple of minutes.
Yes, I am here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay, great. Well, thanks. And a couple minutes. I'll try to make it short and sweet because everyone's been so succinct and like bringing it like really nice presentations. I'll just say yeah, thank you. This is an honor. I was definitely not expecting to receive something like this yet. I guess ultimately in my last year of residency, I wasn't sure how it would unfurl, but I knew that I needed to reserve time to think about climate and sustainability. And that's kind of how I ended up choosing my fellowship as well, making sure I would have a place that wasn't going to make me do 80-hour like hospital weeks, and so I could still maybe work on some projects related to this issue, to this prod issue. So ultimately with our group, Steph, I think one of my prime goals is just to nurture climate activism, which is sustainable itself. Because helping others and myself like maintain that sweet spot of just enough but not too much eco-anxiety is a challenging but gratifying process and essential at this time. So I think building community, making everyone feel included, just seems essential to help us be in better touch with our eco-anxiety, if you want to call it that, and rage and sadness or whatever else that you might feel, so that we can paradoxically act again, be in touch with your emotions, and then function again. And there's a really nice NPR 1-hour podcast by a Climate Psychology Alliance psychologist, Carolyn Hickman. It was I highly recommend that podcast where she talks about eco-anxiety. So yeah, I just got to recognize like all the medical students at UC Davis, like the mostly MS1s, MS2s in the preclinical years, but like Layla and we have third years too, like Haley and Steph, and we're trying to organize the physicians, so residents and eventually get the attendings on board too. So we have some great help from Dr. Pevic and Helene Margolis as mentors, and Colleen McCormick too. So it's so great to be able to have these kind of interdisciplinary meetings, and really appreciate Colleen and all the students. And we'll get started. We'll do something to change education, behavior, and sustainability in our hospital. So thank you.
Thank you, Ben, and congratulations. Our next Student Sustainability Champion Award goes to Sabrina Denton. Sabrina is a third-year student studying environmental science and management who is passionate about sustainability and food waste. She works with Fridge, a community fridge project that aims to decrease food waste and increase food security in Davis and beyond. Sabrina is an officer for SEEDS, Strategies for Ecology. Oops, sorry, I lost my place. Strategies for Ecology, Education, Diversity, and Sustainability, an undergraduate group where she's helped coordinate a variety of events to encourage student interest in ecology and sustainability. She is also a project garden coordinator through the CCE. And then just a quote from Sabrina's nomination. Sabrina has worked tirelessly to propose the creation of Project Orange, a plan to plant citrus trees in garden plots to promote food security, teach students about where their food comes from, and connect them to more sustainable food options. And I do believe Sabrina is here, so if you just want to turn on your video for a second and wave to everyone.
I just wanted to, I remember first learning about sustainability in my life sciences class in middle school and wondering why we didn't just do everything as sustainably as possible. I'm so glad that I've come to Davis and found other people and groups as passionate about sustainability as I am. I've been able to work with some really amazing people and groups like Seeds and Freege and the Campus Center for the Environment to work towards sustainability on campus and in Davis, and I look forward to continuing to do so for the rest of my time at Davis and beyond. Thank you. I'm really honored to have been nominated for this award.
Thank you, Sabrina, and congratulations. The next Student Sustainability Champion Award on the Davis campus goes to Annie Wang. Annie is a fourth-year materials science and engineering student. Inspired by a documentary about the fashion industry, she became interested in materials and sustainable textiles, which led her to join the student team at Aggie Reuse, where she created videos about eco-friendly habits. Annie also co-founded the UC Davis chapter of Period, for which she strived to promote reusable menstrual products. Period is a nonprofit focused on destigmatizing, celebrating, and improving access to menstrual health. After graduation, she is excited to be joining a biomaterials company, Alginate, working on bio-based textile alternatives for footwear and apparel. I'm not sure if Annie is here. Annie, if you would like to speak briefly and turn on your video.
Hi, I'm here. I just want to say thank you so much I will be very quick, but I want to say thank you very much to all the students who are part of the Aggie Reuse store. That was sort of my introduction to like community that really cared about sustainability on the UC Davis campus. And I think McKenna is here. She was on my video team at Aggie Reuse and is like totally an environmental champion in her own right. And I also really want to thank Dr. Mark Faciotti and Christina Cogdell, who were the professors for a biodesign class I took my sophomore year that really introduced me to this concept of biomaterials and using biologically derived materials as a more sustainable source. And I'm really excited to be, after graduation, to be working with a company that actually originally started as a student team, not from UC Davis, but from another university that also participated in the same biodesign challenge that I did. And then with Period, this is an organization that became really important to me throughout college, and it really taught me that sustainability is really intersectional, especially in the arena of menstrual hygiene or just hygiene in general, because disposable pads and tampons are super necessary to help people not be bleeding through their pants, but it also leads to problems of waste. So it helped me learn that achieving sustainability requires really thoughtful solutions that continue to address these healthcare necessities while increasing awareness and accessibility of more sustainable and reusable options in a culturally sensitive way. So I just want to say thank you to a lot of people who are on this call, which is cool. McKenna, who was part of the Aggie Reuse team. Also Sue Vang, who actually, when I was first starting Period, I had her contact info from when I was a part of Aggie Reuse, and I remember calling her in a grocery store parking lot to ask about people I could get in touch with about providing Period products around campus. I want to thank Rachel Glover, who was a part of the TGIF grant team, I believe. She's actually a friend from my freshman year in the dorms, and she encouraged Period to apply for a TGIF grant to support our workshops on sustainable menstrual hygiene, menstrual cups, and cloth pads. And I also want to thank some ASUCD leaders who I noticed were on this call, Kyle Kruger and Shreya, who have supported Period's work. And also Kelly O'Day, who once gave me a sustainability tour of the Coho. I don't know if you remember, but I thought it was super interesting. And there's just so many students and faculty staff who are leading incredible projects and conducting research and advocating for policy change. And creating art and starting conversations about sustainability who would be so deserving of this recognition. So I feel really honored, and just thank you for everyone who's on this call. It's been really encouraging and inspiring to hear about everything this morning. So yeah, thank you so much and keep up the great work.
So the next Student Sustainability Champion Award goes to Megan Phelps. Megan is a third-year student at UC Davis pursuing a bachelor's degree in environmental science and management with an emphasis in climate science. She founded and leads Climate Reality Project Campus Corps at UC Davis, a climate education and action group. She co-authored the Climate Emergency Declaration resolution passed through the UC Davis Student Senate and is currently partnering with the faculty and students throughout the University of California to create a UC-wide climate coalition to further UC's climate action commitment. And Megan, if you're here and want to say a few words.
Hi, thank you, Kelly, and the Office of Sustainability. I'm honored to be receiving this award, especially because there are so many amazing students at UC Davis who work for the environment and sustainability. And I share this award with everyone who has contributed to the Climate Reality Project Campus Corps at UC Davis. Evelyn, Greta, Kimberly, Sarah, Leslie, Dylan, Trinity, Owen, and Efren, to name a few. Together, we organized a climate strike, created a 24-hour event to show that we are not asleep on the climate crisis, started a victory garden, gone into schools to talk to elementary school students about climate change, and created weekly webinars this quarter to envision a new world after the COVID-19 crisis. The biggest unknown about the climate crisis is human behavior, and being part of the Climate Reality Project at UC Davis and the climate community around the world gives me strength to know that a global transformation is underway. We are so lucky to be alive at this time when we have the opportunity to come together to protect life on Earth. Thank you.
Thank you, Megan. And I will pass it to Sue, who will be announcing the Staff Sustainability Champion Awards.
Thanks, Kelly. So the Staff Champion Award goes to Ann Liston from the Tahoe Environmental Research Center. Ann has worked there as a lab manager since 2006, and her building is a Platinum LEED building. The labs are some of the first LEED buildings, or one of the first LEED buildings ever, and they've worked to really improve what they're doing inside to match what they're doing outside. Ann lives in Truckee with her artist husband and enjoys hiking, backpacking, climbing and cross-country skiing. And then during this stay-at-home order, she's been using her transferable sewing skills from being a quilting store manager in the past to make the perfect face cover. And Anne, if you're on, feel free to unmute yourself and speak.
Yeah, hi everybody, thank you so much. And I just wanted to say how much I am inspired by the students who've been speaking, and you give me hope for the future, so thank you. So Steven Sesma is pictured in this refrigerator with me. We do a lot of fixing things around lab, and he's been my partner in this particular pursuit of doing the Green Workplace Laboratory Assessment for the pilot program, and it's been really fun. I want to thank Sue and Micah for making it quite an enjoyable process, because really what we've done from 2006 until now is we've formalized what we've done, and both Stephen and I have said that we're inspired to do even more, you know, even since we got this. So thank you everybody, keep doing what you're doing.
Great, thank you, Anne, and yeah, thank you to you, you and Stephen for all your great work on Green Workplace. The next award is the Sustainability Pioneer Award, and that goes to Raul Adamschak from the Student Farm. Raul has been the Market Garden Manager at the Student Farm since 1996. He has an MS in International Ag Development from Davis and has worked to make the campus more sustainable in many ways, including increasing the sales of local organic produce to campus, diverting surplus produce to food access groups on campus, using sustainable farming practices to minimize environmental impact, recycling animal manure into compost, teaching PLS 49 organic production practices, and co-authoring with his wife, Pam Ronald, Tomorrow's Table, Organic Farming, Genetics, and Food. Raul?
Hi. Recently, in an essay in The New Yorker, the science fiction writer and Davis resident Kim Stanley Robinson gave me a moment of hope because he wrote that the COVID-19 pandemic has shown that people can alter their behavior in the face of an emerging disaster, that we can make sacrifices to flatten the curve. And sustainability is all about flattening the curve of climate change. It's about reducing fossil fuels and other resource use, and it requires changing our behavior. Basically, we can no longer party like it's 1999. Stan also wrote that what was needed to flatten the curve was science and leadership, and that's what we do here at UC Davis. We contribute new discoveries to the existing body of science, and we develop new leaders. So let's use these capabilities to be more sustainable in agriculture, medicine, and all the other fields to flatten the curve of climate change. So thank you for selecting me as a sustainability champion. Thanks to Kent Bradford for nominating me, and thanks to all my colleagues and students here at the Student Farm and at the Ag Sustainability Institute for our shared efforts to be as sustainable as possible.
Great, thank you, Raul, and congrats again. We're gonna move to our faculty champions, and Camille will lead that.
Great, thank you so much. So our first award goes to, thank you, Sue, goes to Dr. Pevick. William Pevick is Professor Emeritus in Vascular Surgery. He holds his degrees from University of Dayton and University of Cincinnati School of Medicine. He did his residency at University of Pittsburgh and a fellowship at Mass General. We are so fortunate to have Dr. Pevick on the faculty at UC Davis Health because he's been a real champion for sustainability in the health environment. He's serving as Polar Forums on the Polar Forum Steering Committee with JMIE. He's a docent and volunteer coordinator at Stebbins Cold Canyon, one of my favorite hikes in the area. And he is a member of the Sustainability Health and Environment Working Group at UC Davis. He's our faculty mentor for STETH, which we heard about earlier from Layla. And it is our incredible pleasure to give Dr. Pevick the inaugural faculty award from the Sacramento campus. So congratulations, Dr. Pevick. And Sue, would you like to go to the slide with some quotes from the nomination, and then let's offer Dr. Pevick an opportunity to make remarks if he would like.
I think he had previously stated that he wasn't going to be speaking.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for that. And again, congratulations to Dr. Pevick. All right. Would you like to switch to our second award? So we gave one at Sacramento campus. And again, our pool was so competitive and so exciting this year for sustainability champions that we decided to hand out more awards to recognize the incredible work being done both by students and staff and faculty. So in this case, our Davis Campus Sustainability Champion Award is faculty member Liza Grandia, who's an associate professor in Native American Studies. She's been an associate professor at UC Davis since 2012, and she's directing the Indigenous Research Center of the Americas. She also is a 13-year survivor of lymphoma, and from that has developed a whole body of research and very active research around chemical sensitivities, the materials that we're using in our indoor workspaces, things like carpet and fragrances, and has done just an incredible degree of work in helping all of us in the UC understand more about some of the issues around carpet in the workplace. So with that, would you like to go to the second slide with some of the quotes from her nomination? And at this time, Sue, we'll offer Dr. Grandia an opportunity to offer a few remarks.
Great, thank you. I'm really honored to receive this award and actually to get to Zoom today, because frankly, if this conference had been held in the Alumni Center, I couldn't have attended because the carpet and air fresheners there make me ill. Let's just say that university buildings haven't been good for my health. My first university, I got lymphoma, but a third of the faculty and staff were ill, and our problems trace back to the carpet. And then my second here at UC Davis, a botched renovation of Hart Hall spewed dust from a carpet demolition that was left for 9 months and left me with severe chemical sensitivities, which I was initially ashamed of because I'm an intellectual worker, and a whiff of perfume just left me with brain fog and headaches. And so I realized I had to tell my students, and in opening up about my vulnerability, something amazing happened. On the days they avoided wearing perfume and cologne for me, many students began reporting that their own health and concentration was better. And so my super hero character, Professor Canary, was born, because I think you need a sense of humor when talking about toxics. I still faced a lot of hostility and indifference from the staff whose support I needed for disability accommodations. So I started solving my problems at a campus level as a miner's canary, because I smell things that other people don't. And in that I realized, you might remove air fresheners from the particular bathroom that I use, but what about everyone else on campus with asthma and chronic migraines? I might teach my classes in the few uncarpeted spaces on campus, but what about folks' exposures to the 43 hazardous substances, lead, mercury, arsenic, 4PC, BPA, PFAS, phthalates, triclosan, perchlorate, that you find regularly in all carpets? So I've become a warrior for indoor air quality, and I'm grateful to be recognized for my rabble-rousing. And I invite you to join the Fragrance-Free UCD campaign, and to contact me about carpet. I'll share a couple of links in a box folder in the comments. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And now, Sue, if you'll take us to a special award that we are awarding this year. Okay, thank you. We were so impressed with the multiple nominations that came in for Natalia Dibsosa, Associate Professor in the Chicano Studies Department, that we had to nominate, and we had to create a new award this year, the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Award. Dr. Dibsosa was born in Bogota, Colombia, and she came to the US in 1995 to continue with her graduate studies. And she's finished her degree in economics, but realized that there was an important role of a different social science, sociology, to bring to bear on her field of study. As mentioned, she's an associate professor in the Chicano Studies Department. And she has done, if you go to the next slide, Sue, you'll see some of the quotes from her nomination. She's done amazing work in community-based participatory research, and she's really been a serious leader on campus and in the region and beyond the region in thinking about social justice, environmental justice, and issues around diversity, equity, inclusion, and justice in order to actually form a more sustainable lifestyle on our planet. So with that, I don't know if we'll have remarks from Natalia. Is she here with us and has remarks?
I didn't see her, and she had said that she wasn't sure if her schedule would allow her to join us.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm sorry that we won't be able to hear from her, because it's so exciting to have this pioneering award along with our other pioneer award to Raul Adamczak. And I really want to thank everyone so much for giving us your time today. We really appreciate all of our award winners and our presenters, and really everyone on campus who works every day to make this more sustainable. So we hope that you have enjoyed your time, learned new things about sustainability at UC Davis that you didn't already know, and hopefully found some new people to partner with and collaborate with. As I said at the beginning of our time together today, I strongly believe that no big things get done alone. We must collaborate and respect each other to co-create our resilient and sustainable future, which is our responsibility as stewards of our beautiful planet, and it's also a deep wellspring of joy. Thank you so much. And although we can't offer you live cupcakes this year like last year, we're offering you some virtual cupcakes for our virtual reality right now. Thank you so much.